a little bit different than what I've been doing in the past, riding dirt bikes. We were going to have a lot of fixing videos like engine repair, but that kind of never really happened. But anyway, behind me here, this is my dad's 1963 Chevy Belair. It has a 230 straight six, and we bought it 4 or 5 years ago. A couple months we restored it, paint job, gas tank, new radiator, alternator. Pretty much it sat in storage since the 70s. It's sat for a long time. We bought it from a guy. We got it running, painted, ready for car shows that we wanted to go to, and drove it around for a bit. And then engine never burned oil really. It had good oil pressure. 2-speed power glide is kind of just a slow car cruiser, no power brakes, no power steering, drum brakes all around. But anyway, it started ticking, so we put in a new lifter, and that really didn't solve anything. So we come over here, I can show you. We realized the cam was going bad. This is the camshaft. Now notice how all these are the lobes that go to the push rods that lift, open and close your valves. And like every time we took the car out, you always had this like exhaust smell that we can never get rid of. Like first we had the exhaust end about here. These side pipes are just kind of for looks right now, but we had the glass pack on it. The exhaust would end here, and we always smelt it. So we bought a tailpipe, ran the exhaust all the way back, and it still always had this like exhaust smell. What happened was this lobe got wiped out. See, this is the peak of the lobe. It's pretty much round, and so that valve wasn't opening, so it wasn't letting the exhaust out. So when the intake valve would open, all that exhaust would just come up through the intake and out, kind of out the carb. And when you're driving, you can kind of just smell it, like very faint. So we're like, well, let's just take the grill off, throw a new cam in. Don't want to pull the engine. That's a lot of work, So we got that going, and here's the block. What happened was we put the cam in, and we slid it in. We're trying to press the gear on the front, and this plug falls out. Like I hear it hit the floor. I thought something internally fell out and into the oil pan. I'm like, oh no. So we're like, you know what? Let's just pull the engine and kind of do it how you should. So pulled the engine out. We realized the cylinders had a ridge on them. I was going to reuse all the crank bearings. Everything looked good. But it's like, well, we got to get this out so we can get the cylinders done. And then find out it was only like $30 to polish the crank. So like, let's do that so we can get all new bearings. And then the cylinder head. If you look at the valves were getting really pitted. They weren't going to seal anymore. And then today's gas, it doesn't have lead in it anymore, and lead's like a lubricant. So basically when your valves get really hot and they close on the seat, they start to transfer a little bit of metal. So over time they get pitted and built up with crud, and they just won't seal. So the way you fix that is you can get hardened valve seats. So it's like, let's just get this thing pretty much all rebuilt at this point. We got it out. It's not going to cost a whole lot. So that's the plan with this. So today we got everything back from the machine shop. We're going to be assembling it all. The next video we're just going to show you the short block, measuring clearances, installing the crank, rods and pistons. I'll show you the old lifters. These are all what the original ones look like. This is kind of normal wear, where it's kind of ditched because these spin, so they'll kind of get cupped. This one, these two look like they kind of quit spinning and they started to wear funny. And then when we installed the new lifter, hoping it was just a collapsed lifter that was bad, we ran this for about 10 minutes and it just chewed it up, and right away we knew the cam was bad because the rocker arm was barely moving compared to all the rest of them. So yeah, we didn't have any lift on that load. So take the whole thing out. Alright, so this is the block. It's already all baked, cleaned up, bored at 30 over because of how bad the cylinders are worn. Got 30 over stock pistons. This is going to be pretty much an all stock build. I mean, I kind of wish I got a bigger lift cam, but we're kind of trying to keep this on a budget and just get it running again. Thing is though, with this car we could probably see high teens for fuel mileage, which isn't bad for a car this size, how old it is. I mean, it's just a cruiser, so we're just going to get it running. And really the bigger versions of this engine they put in big work trucks, and they do a decent amount of work, and they'll last a long time if you take good care of them. So that's why we're planning to continue with this is a 230 straight 6 compared to throwing in a V8. So the next video we're going to be assembling the crank, rod bearings, main bearings. Connecting rods are already connected to the pistons. Going to install pistons and rings. That'll be about it for the short block bottom end. Second video we're going to be installing the cylinder head, water pump, oil pump probably be part of the bottom end, and then go from there. Third video we're going to be installing it into the car and breaking it in, and then after that we're going to drive it over to Travis's work, do an oil change on the old Power Glide, and hope everything's good. And after that we just got to do rear brakes, and then it'll be completely drivable. So that's the plan. Thanks for watching. Hope you continue watching this video series that we're making. A little different, but old engines like this you can still get parts for. I thought I would just show you guys what I know. This is like the first engine, like car engine, I'll be assembling. Another reason why we're not gonna soup it up a whole lot, and just we're gonna call this the Belair Basics, just basic engine build. So thanks for watching.